Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be on my eyeshadow look that I'm wearing right now. Oh my goodness, all these swatches. I really had no idea what I was going to be filming going into this, so I kind of, again, opened up all my palettes and just let the colors speak to me. And we got this. It's my go-to technique of basically just smoking out my eyes and then just popping in a little bit of color onto the lid. I do have smaller lids for the most part, so I do like to keep the pop of color pretty low, and I don't like to bring it up too high because then it'll transfer onto the upper parts of my lid, and we don't want that. It just looks messy, it doesn't look very clean, and yeah, so stay away from that. But anyways, let's jump into the video. I'll get more into detail about everything else in the actual video. I hope you guys enjoy this. Please like, comment, subscribe, and let's get started. Alright guys, and we're back. So let's get started. So I'm going to be using the 35O palette, and I'm using the first color on the third row with my good old Morphe M504 brush, and it's just, again, the fluffy blender brush, which I use in every video. It's always my first initial step with any eyeshadow look. So I'm just going to be applying this just as the base and the transition shade, so make sure you get that all over the lid very heavily. And make sure it's super blended out, as this will help with all the other colors to just look very seamless and blended out. Then going in with Alert from the Ring the Alarm palette from the Vault collection by Morphe and Jaclyn Hill. And I'm going to be using the color Alert, and I'm going to first be applying it with the Smashbox brush that came with the palette. But I didn't like the way that was applying, so then I go in with my Morphe M441 brush. And this is just kind of like a tighter, more dense crease brush, and it's a bigger crease brush, and I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this shade on the outer corners and in the inner corner, really just making a sandwich effect. This is really what I call it, the sandwich technique. It's my go-to, and really just focusing that orange shade, that burnt orange shade, just on mostly on the outer corners, and then the inner corner, and then the outer corner of my actual shape of my eye. I'm basically shaping out and carving out my eye with this shade, and I'm going in very heavily. So go ahead and build up that color till we have a really, really pretty burnt orange. And then once we get that color build off, or color payoff that we want, then I'm going to go in with that third shade on the third row, or excuse me, the first shade on the third row, and I'm going to go ahead and use that original brush that I first started using, the Smashbox. Any smaller blender brush is really going to work for this, and I'm really just going to focus that shade, again, pretty much just exactly where I just applied that first shade, on the outer corner and the inner corner. This shade is really just going to add that little bit of red that we want, just to help deepen it up, and add a little bit more dimension. And I do want to make sure that I don't bring the shade too high. We don't want to make this look sloppy, so make sure you're really just focusing on the outer corner, the inner corner, and then just basically following the shape of your eye naturally, and really just smoking it out as much as we can. So then going back into that Ring the Alarm palette, and I'm going to be using the color Lolly, and I'm using this as the shade that we're going to go ahead the pop shade. This is really going to be the shade in the center that's really going to make the statement. First, when I first apply it, it's not as bright as we wanted, but don't worry, we're going to go ahead and build, and we're going to get it to the color payoff that we want. So first I started applying it with the brush, but I didn't like the way it looks. Any shadow that has shimmer in it is ultimately best applied with your finger. The warmth from your finger is really just going to help bring that pop all the way through, and really just help apply the shadow really smoothly, and really just apply it the best way. So once I get that shade on there, I'm just going to go ahead and apply it with a flat top brush. I happen to be using a Morphe. I don't know the name of it. I can't seem to find the brush to tell you guys, but I'm dampening up that brush with just some setting spray. I happen to be using the Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist. Any setting spray will really work. The MAC Fix Plus is what I usually use for this, but I ran out, so I just used anything that was really dewy. And the Tatcha spray is a really good one. And just spray, dampen up your brush, and just apply this onto the lid. Again, I don't like to bring the color too high, as it does... for me, I have smaller lids, so the color will transfer onto the roofs of my eye. So I try to bring it not too high, and really just shape out just onto the lid. Then once we get that color onto the lid, we're going to go ahead and go in with the Alert and Mugshot. I'm going to go ahead and mix those two shades, and I'm going to apply that onto the to the crease. And I'm just using just any crease brush. This is also from Morphe, and again, I don't know the name. For some reason, I can't find my brushes today. But we're just going to be using a mini crease brush and really just getting that shade into there. And then I end up switching with a MAC brush, and it's a fluffier brush, and I kind of go back and forth between those two shades. And this is really, again, going to add depth and more dimension into the eye look, as you started to see it looking a little bit more flat. So this is really just going to help brighten up the center lid and that pop of color. And then I'm just going to go ahead again and pop a little bit more of that Lolly shade back onto the lid. And as you can see right here, this is really just like the more steps that you do, the more you apply the lid shade and the crease shade, the more it's just going to make it look more dramatic and more pigmented. As you can see, this is not what it looked like when we first started. So I'm just going to do the exact same thing to the other eye, and basically just going back and forth between deepening up that crease line, and then also intensifying that lid color. I'm sorry guys, I cannot speak today. I just need to get it together. And then going back in with the Ring the Alarm palette, and I'm going to be using the shade Mugshot. And I'm just going to go ahead and smoke out the waterline. And I'm just using a mini crease brush. I was able to find this brush, but of course the number has since wiped off since I've bought it. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and buff that out. I don't want to smoke it out too much, since I am going to add some liner, which I actually ended up doing off camera. I added just a brownish liner, which was the Costa Riche, but I will mention that in a few. But yeah, go ahead and just smoke that out. Not too much, again, just lightly, just to go ahead and tie the look together. And I'm back. So I went ahead and did the rest of my makeup. I just went ahead and finished with my brows, put a little bit of brow highlight on, and put on some mascara. And totally forgot to mention the part. I added a little bit of liner. I did Costa Riche by MAC, and then I just smudged it out a little bit more, but I just really tight lined it because I wanted it really precise. I didn't really want to smudge it out too much, but other than that, that's pretty much the only thing I did off camera. I hope you guys like this look. I actually really love the way it turned out, and I will definitely be doing this a lot more in the future. And yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe. Until my next video, I'll see you guys later. Bye.